All right, y'all. Welcome to a special edition of Hanging with July. We got a couple of things we're gonna talk about. Of course, we're gonna talk about the NBA Finals. I got a couple of topics in the group that I want to talk about as well. We're gonna be talking about the top 10 players that played in the 80s. Think a little bit. We're gonna be talking about what would a ring do for Chris Paul and what would a ring do for Giannis Antetokounmpo, however you say his name, however that goes. Yeah, we just got a lot of things we're gonna discuss. So I'm gonna start bringing the guests on. First guest I got my guest, John Rich, very knowledgeable basketball person. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring him on. What's up, John?
What was that, my brother?
What's up, man? Glad you was able to make it, man.
Oh yeah. Been tied up with these practices, man. Finally,
What's up, man? Hey, you living the dream, man. A coach, man. That's a dream for me. Like being a basketball player first, and then a coach next. That's actually a dream. So you living the dream for us.
I love every second of it. Except me.
All right, let's see. And Troll guy look like he's cooking in the background. I don't know what he's doing back there.
Always cooking, man. Always cooking. I got my shirt on today just in case Jordan try to talk to the shit.
Or cooking up some steaks, man. He cooking up some steaks.
Bacon in the sausage is still alive.
Jordan said he might be able to make it. I don't know. Reason said he's gonna be on a little later on. We also got Coach, but we're gonna start it off. We're just gonna wait for them to come on. But we're gonna start off. We're gonna talk about the NBA Finals. Troll God, let me start with you. NBA Finals. We got Phoenix. We got versus the Bucks. What's your take about that series?
Well, first and foremost, let me apologize to the Milwaukee Bucks. I was one of the first ones that said they wouldn't make it out the first round past the Heat. I think it was me and maybe one other person on the first podcast didn't even predict them to get out the first round. So shouts out to Milwaukee for making it. So with that being said, Suns and 6.
Suns and 6?
Suns and 6, man. I can't go 4. I want to say 4, but we know better. We know better than that. It's a business. It's an association. Them boys gonna get their money. They got sponsorships to fill, commercials to run, games to air. Oh, that is money to be made. So I don't see it going less than 6 games. Suns and 6.
So hold on. So
actually, I take that back. Suns and 7. If we stay in Suns and 6, I don't see Suns winning game 6 on the road in Milwaukee.
Okay, so what's the difference? Why Suns and 6? Like what the Suns have that Milwaukee can't counter? What you think?
A healthy leader first and foremost. Giannis, I don't know how he's going to do with his injury, if he's going to play or not. Chris Paul and Devin Booker against Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton. I got to go with Chris Paul and Booker.
All right, so who you?
And not to say he's going to school Drew, because Drew is one of the top defending point guards in the league that can actually score. Mm-hmm. I want to say Pat Beverly is a great value version of Drew Holiday. But Drew is one of the better lockdown point guards. So Chris Paul may have problems. But I think if it comes down to scoring, Booker will school Middleton. That's going to be a good matchup to watch because everybody say, "Oh man, Middleton 6'8" and he's one of the top defending shooting guards." But let Booker get hot, that Booker gonna have problems. So with that being said, it's gonna come down to home court advantage, which the Suns got. Those Suns and 7.
Oh shit! All right. So you got the Suns winning tonight.
Game 1, Phoenix. Yes, sir. Suns by 10.
Suns by 10.
Yeah.
What's your response to that, John Rich?
I got it 2 ways, man. I got Suns and 6 starting out. I'm counting on Giannis not playing until at least until game 3. I got him out game 1, game 2, and if they see they need him, they're gonna put him in game 3. I think that's kind of So I got Suns in 6 off of that notion. However, I think if Giannis does come in game 3 and he healthy, he can go and be the Giannis he is. I got Bucks in 6. I don't think the Suns gonna get both games. So I think it's gonna be tied up 1-1. I think if it's tied up 1-1 whenever Giannis come in, I think the Bucks will get 3 out of the next 5 on that one. I really so I got it going. I don't got it going 7. I got it going 6 either way. If Giannis can't play, I got Suns in 6. If Giannis can play, I got Bucks in 6.
Okay, so assuming Giannis missed the first 2 games or whatever, and the Suns and Bucks split those 2 games, and then he comes back and the Bucks end up winning the series. If Giannis and Chris Middleton numbers are around the same thing, do you think Chris Middleton should win Finals MVP?
Oh, that's a good fucking question.
That's a good question.
Yeah, that's a great question.
I think it's gonna come down to like who got the bigger moment, or even who might impact the game and stuff that don't show up on the box score. Kind of like Iggy did in 15. You know, Iggy did a lot that didn't show up on the box score. You look at the box score, Steph could have ran away with MVP, right? But Iggy did some things that didn't show up in the box score. I think Bron shot under 40% for the series and all type of stuff like that. So I think it's gonna come down to who can affect things that don't show up on the box score. And you know, if it's a clear difference with Giannis in the game, I think they're gonna give it to Giannis. Like if he missed those first 2 games and the Bucks are struggling, and then he come in game 3 and the Bucks look like they've been looking all season, I think they'll give it to Giannis off the strength today. I mean, it's gonna be Giannis award to lose. I think that's what it's gonna be. I think Chris Middleton is gonna have to do some things to win it. It's gonna be Giannis to lose.
Okay. Weezy, what's up, Weezy? You there? I don't know. You must be cooking back there too. I don't know what he's doing.
It's like that time, man.
Hey, with my heart, I do want Chris Paul to win the ring, heart wise. But yeah, I mean, I just don't see. I just don't see how the Suns, like, if Giannis does come back, let's just say game 3. I don't see the Suns winning that series at all. I really don't. So if we're gonna go to Coach. Coach, what's up, Coach?
What's good with it, baby?
What's up? Hey, so we talking about the finals, giving our intake on the series. Like, what you think about this finals matchup that's about to go down tonight?
Man, I think it's a very interesting matchup, man. It really hinges on the health of Giannis, really and truly. If Giannis ain't 100%, I think that the Suns got a real chance of capturing this thing. I think that's that. They don't have anybody that matches up with Giannis's physicality. When he gets going downhill, it's gonna be hard. I love DeAndre Ayton as a rim protector, but again, people kind of sleep on Giannis a little bit. I think he's the X factor. He opens that whole offense up for everybody. He gets shots open for Lopez in the corner when he's driving. He spreads the offense. He gets Middleton space. If he's not 100%, I think the Suns have a real good chance. I'm rolling with the Suns regardless. I just want to see CP3 get a ring. You know what I'm saying? I haven't been the biggest CP3 fan, but I think that this is his best shot at it. But again, if Giannis isn't healthy, I don't see where the Bucks can just match up talent wise. Because again, Booker gonna go. Booker gonna get his. I think he had a little slump the last couple of games in the Western Conference Finals where he didn't shoot a great percentage. He hit timely shots, but I think that he's gonna shake it off. I looked at him average by 24 this series with the floor general. Chris Paul getting everybody in position to make plays. I think the Suns have a real shot at becoming champions this year.
All right, so who you got winning tonight's game?
I got the Suns tonight. I just don't see Giannis being 100% healthy. They said that he had a private workout yesterday, and they say after the workout he had a visible limp. For media report, they say he looked good during the workout, but they said afterwards he had a visible limp. So I don't think he's at 100%. And everybody who has a hyperextended knee knows that's one of those injuries that he may feel good today, but tomorrow that bitch might be as big as a basketball. So I don't think he's 100%. So I can see the Suns actually getting this one.
Good point on that knee. That knee is part of is like a main part of Giannis's game with all the stretches and long steps and Euro steps and stuff.
Right.
Like Coach said, one day it could be good, but a wrong tweak or turn or plan or pivot, and he could be out for the next 3 to 4.
Oh yeah.
So Reezy, what you think about this finals that we're about to watch? Who you got winning tonight's games? Who you got winning the series, and why?
Yeah, I think you guys gave some good answers, man. I really agree with you as far as the Suns tonight. As far as the series, I would like to see Greek get him a championship, actually a little bit more than CP3, just because of his ability to probably change the narrative of being maybe like a new Bron. I mean, he's definitely not Bron, but a playmaking player with that type of physical build. He's like a bigger size Bron, if you really want to talk about it. And then 2 defensive players of the years and 2 MVPs. So I would like the Bucks to win, and I'll put the caveat if Giannis can come back at least by game 3 and be 85 to 90%, I'll go ahead and go Bucks. But as of right now, as things look, if Giannis isn't able to contribute, unfortunately, not unfortunately, because it'd be great for CP3's legacy, but unfortunately for us as fans, we wouldn't get, a full strength or the best potential match to watch, and it would be the Suns. So I'm gonna choose the Bucks, but I'm gonna hold y'all to saying at least give me Giannis in game 3 on that.
So let me get this straight. Jerm, you got Milwaukee?
Yeah, ultimately I got Milwaukee in 6. Yeah. The only way I don't have Milwaukee is if Giannis just either can't play or just can't be himself. If Giannis can be himself, I got Milwaukee.
Right.
Let's see. I'm trying to look up something right quick. Let's see. Hold on.
While you looking that up, quick question, fellas. So let's just say, long shot possibility, Milwaukee wins the first 2 games. So, do you rest Giannis again on game 3?
No, I would say no.
If
I don't. Let's not sit here and say Milwaukee gonna steal both of them. But in the long shot event, that does happen.
If Milwaukee stole those games without Greek, oh my goodness, I'm feeling real confident about my Bucks and 7.
That would also definitely give Finals MVP to Middleton. What do you think?
Oh yeah, if the Bucks steal the first 2 games, both of them, yeah, I think that MVP might go to Middleton on that one.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't think that hurts Greek's legacy though. So if let's say the Bucks win, let's say even Greek does able to come back and have a great series, or Middleton outshines Greek overall and gets the NBA Finals MVP, I don't think that really damages Giannis's legacy, as long as he's able to try to get back to the finals again, eventually, and keep that going. But I don't know. I mean, the man has 2 league MVPs and 2 defensive players of the year. Actually, I want to hear from Coach
2 words
on that one, because
2 words.
How would you feel if Middleton won Finals MVP?
2 words: Steph Curry.
Exactly.
What I'm saying? Iguodala won MVP, which should have went to Steph Curry, but that has nothing to do with Steph Curry's legacy. He's still a top 2-point guard of all time. He's still the greatest shooter of all time. We know he's the orchestrator of that offense. He was the main cog in that team. So no, I don't think it's going to affect his legacy.
Well, in response to that, Steph Curry wasn't injured none of them 7 games, so he couldn't have hurt his legacy. Now let's say Giannis, they win Finals MVP, and Giannis is out the first 2 games. It could be argued they could have won the Finals without Giannis.
Oh yeah, but that doesn't really hurt his legacy though. That's what I was trying to say.
It's not going to hurt it, but it is going to put a small stain on it. With this being his first chip.
Yeah, I think the only thing that would affect is how people look at the past playoffs they've been in. Because a lot of people were saying, the rest of the team didn't come through behind Giannis and all that. But if you can win a chip without him, then it kind of dampens that argument. But at the end of the road, man, I don't think it hurt his legacy. Like Cole said, it didn't hurt Steph Curry's legacy, and he was actually there, and it didn't hurt. You know what I'm saying? The only people who hold that against Curry is troubles who try to boost Bron up a little bit more and all that,
Now we got some feedback. You hear that, Kenny? From the audience, one of our audios. I don't know who's echoing. Hey, I don't think it's me, but also, Coach, what do you think about how like the Kobe Shaq conversation, those first 3 championships, where Shaq got all 3 Finals MVPs? And people tried to, I won't say tried to, but I will say that maybe the perception was that hurt Kobe's legacy as far as between him and Shaq. Like, oh, Shaq carried.
I was about to say the same thing. They always talk about, Shaq carried Kobe, and I was looking for it. I actually had that written down in a note. But if you go back and look at the 2001 playoffs, Kobe averaged 30.7 a game. Shaq averaged 30.6. Kobe had 215 total points in the 2001 playoffs. Shaq had 214 points. So yes, Shaq did get the MVP, but it's not like Kobe was some scrub. And again, those are to piggyback off with Jaron Rich. I think those are the people that hates on Kobe because of the MJ legacy, to prop Bron up a little bit, to say that he rolled coattail. But if you go back and look at those games when Shaq fouled out, Kobe carried the team. Game 7 against Portland, when Shaq was sitting on the bench and the Lakers was down 17, Kobe scored 21 straight points. Everybody remembers the lob at the end of the game, but nobody remembers the plays leading up to that. And why was Kobe getting triple teamed at the foul line? If he was a scrub, why was he getting triple teamed at the foul line for Shaq, the most dominant player in the league, to get a wide open layup? I mean, apparently the defense is worried about something. Kobe did his part in that night. That's always been one of my points on that, man. Kobe didn't get carried. I think that in 2001 against the Sixers, Kobe probably should have won that MVP. I think he had 2 40-point games in that finals, or 2 almost 40-point games in those finals, and did a damn good job against AI when he was on them. But again, Shaq was the most dominant player in the league at the time, and again, he passed the eye test. He's dunking on 4 or 5 guys. He's people hanging on him at the rim. But again, Kobe did his job. I don't see again against if Middleton were to win the Finals MVP, that doesn't hinder Giannis's legacy. I just don't see Giannis as that guy. People try to make him out to be that Bron guy, but I don't think he's that guy. I think he finds open guy. He has high basketball luck. He finds guys open when he's driving to the goal because he garners so much attention. But I don't think he's that guy when you talk about the guy that stirs the drink to your offense. He's a physical specimen. He's a dominant athlete. He's a dominant basketball player. But I don't think he's on that level of he orchestrates your offense a la a LeBron or like a Curry. I think his physical talents garner so much attention that he kind of has to he has high basketball IQ that when someone does double him or when they set up that roadblock in the paint, he can find the open guy.
Okay, so let me go to you, Troll God. Let me go to you since we're on the Giannis legacy topic. If Giannis wins Finals MVP, what does that do? What does that do for his legacy?
I think Troll God stepped away. Sure.
Oh, all right, go ahead and answer that question, John.
Man, if he get the Final MVP and even just winning the finals, I think it boosts him a lot on that totem of like all-time players. In my opinion, right now, talent-wise, and even the stuff that he accomplished, he very well could be a top 50 player all time. You'll have to run through a list and sort things out of how you want to put him there. If he wins it, he's certainly top 50 all time. And in my opinion, he gotta go. If not top 5, small forward, power forward. I don't know how to classify him. He plays power forward now, but he came in as a 3. He played the points. I don't know who position to put him at on an all-time rank. I think if you want to list him as a 3, he's in that top 5 convo. I mean, he's going to be under Bron, Bird, KD, Dr. J. But once you get into the Pippins and the Dominiques and that range, you got to start putting them in there. If you classify him as a 4, he's under Dirk. He's under Duncan, KG, Malone. I would still put him under Dirk now for longevity, but I think that puts him in the calculation with the Barkley, the LSD, and all those guys.
This what I put. If y'all looking at the screen, I made this post a couple of days ago. We're on the 4th. I said, so would you rather see Giannis and the Bucks get a championship or CP3 and the Suns? I say the ring for Giannis, you're gonna have to start talking about putting him in the top 20. That's how far I think the top 20. Because he got 2 MVPs, he got a Defensive Player of the Year, 3 All NBA defensive first teams, 3 All NBA defensive, 3 All NBA first teams. He got a couple of second teams. He got a Most Improved Player. So you add a Finals and a Finals MVP to that, you could start having a conversation that he could be in the top 20.
I think off of the length of the career and totality of things, I don't know about top 20 just yet, but I'd say it definitely puts him on the projection to finish top 20 without a doubt. It puts him on that path to finish there. I think it's still it's a whole lot of guys that got, careers of 10, 11, 12, 13 years of getting success, and to have, 5, I don't know if I can put that 5 years of, dominance over a decade of, strong, definitely Hall of Fame play.
Hey, I want to bring Mingo up in this conversation. Mingo, I also said this. I said if CP3 will win a ring and Finals MVP, me personally, I will put him right under Magic and Curry and put him at the 3rd spot as far as point guards go. What you think about that thing?
Y'all can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I honestly feel like a Finals MVP or a championship don't really do nothing for Chris Paul. At this point in his legacy, he not where he at is where he at. I don't really see him like a Finals MVP or a championship. I don't really see him moving up above nobody or dropping down below anybody. I just feel like he then submitted himself where he at right now based off of what his previous work then put him at. Now if he went on and done it 2 more times, then we can probably bump him up somewhere. But for right now, I think he at where he at. I mean, it's good and like a little bump, but to say like to jump him up or catapult him, I think where y'all saying he can be at is where he already at.
All right, Troll guy, you want to respond to that?
I think he's absolutely right. A ring at this point in Chris Paul's career, 1 ring will not elevate or what's the word? Or drop him any higher or lower than where he is now. I will say this. Y'all can no longer deny the fact that he's a superstar after he wins this ring, if he wins it.
Right.
I think that's been cemented already too.
It has, but since the first time we brought it up it has been, in my opinion anyway, and a lot of other sports fans' opinion, but from I don't know how many podcasts ago when we first brought up what is the definition of a superstar, if I recall right, Chris Paul was not included in that initial conversation.
Maybe not any more off of the, I guess, dominance of his play now. I mean, averaging 16 and 8 is hard to call you a superstar like now, currently. You know what I'm saying? But definitely in his career, I mean, at least for 8, 9, 10 years, he's been a superstar.
franchise player.
You know what I'm saying?
And been the best player on this team. He then led his team to playoffs with little. I ain't gonna say little.
I'd probably say last year was his first year not being a superstar. Off of just like numbers. That was probably his first year not in a long time. You know what I'm saying?
Well, was that with Oklahoma City? You could say say he was star potential on the verge of being a superstar anyway. He took a team that had lost Westbrook and had Steven Adams, and took them boys to the playoffs, which he has done with every team he has done since he's left New Orleans. How can y'all say that man is not a superstar? He has made every team that he has went to better and put them in the playoff contention immediately after.
Thanks. I would argue that he did better than Westbrook in Oklahoma that one year.
With that.
Mm-hmm. Hey, but as far as the superstar argument, though, it does make sense. I mean, it is a difficult conversation because that's me trying to talk to somebody else.
If I remember July, or excuse me, he still got the hair on top. If I remember Kenny's definition right, a superstar has to have top tier production year in and year out, or he has to make the teammates and the players around him better. Ain't that right, July? You see him nodding his head. Now, with that being said, Chris Paul not done that at every team he has went to.
Okay, but also but if I'm talking to somebody about, if I'm talking to somebody about, just like any subject, and they have a different definition than what I have, that's going to be a very difficult conversation because there's going to be so many misunderstandings. You know what I'm saying? Like, in my mind, I have a definition, and then maybe in Kenny's mind, he has a definition. And so we both saying, "No, you crazy," but we don't realize we both saying different things because of our initial understanding.
Same thing with different points of view.
Right. So superstar for me would be top 10 player in the league. You have to be up there that high, all NBA, MVP candidate. So yeah, he has a lot of those attributes.
When has Kawhi Leonard been an MVP candidate?
Kawhi Leonard?
Only 1 year when they lost to.
But that was free to say he was a superstar.
Yeah. If you ever consider Steve Nash a superstar, ever consider Steve Nash a superstar.
Oh yeah,
and don't put CP3 as a superstar, then we need to start questioning basketball knowledge.
Well, how long was Steve Nash?
Would you put Steve Nash over CP3 on the all-time ranking?
No, I
put Steve Nash over CP3 all time.
I got him too.
Nash over CP3.
Nah, I got CP3.
I'd have to put CP3 over Nash at this point.
I got CP3 over him too.
So nobody cares about those two MVPs.
I care about him, but CP3 just done so much as far as he got 6 steals titles. He's been on the all defensive team 7, 8 times. Like every team, like Troll God and Reggie Mingo just said, every team CP3 go to, he elevate them like.
Is that not superstar caliber play right there?
Yeah.
And he ain't done it. And he ain't done this on teams that had superstars with him. He had teams with small market teams besides the Rockets with little to no. And this year he went with a bunch of 20-year-olds and took them to the finals.
Right.
So who I didn't hear from? I didn't hear from you yet, Coach.
Yeah, let me jump in there, man.
Yeah. Go ahead, Coach.
He was waiting.
Yeah, I've been listening. Wait, man. First of all, I think you're looking at it a little skewed. I think a ring for Chris Paul solidifies him as a top 5 player. He's been a top 5 point guard of all time. He's always been in that 6, 7, 8 range. But if you look at it right now, he's the active steals and assist leader in the NBA. Active. He's gonna finish his career top 5 in assists, top 5 in steals. He's made numerous first team All NBAs. He's been on all defensive teams. Literally the only thing is missing off of his resume is an NBA title. You're not guaranteed an NBA title. I mean, MVP as far as greatest players of all time. So I'm not gonna hold that against him. I wouldn't elevate him above Isaiah Thomas because again, Isaiah Thomas went through Bird, Magic, and Jordan. I just can't do that. but I will put him in that top 5. It was always him and Kidd at that top 5 position. He gets a ring. I think he would kind of leapfrog Jason Kidd and solidify at the number 5 because, say he got down on both ends, just like Jason Kidd did, just the longevity. And again, like you said, the competition, the teams that he played for, he took a OKC team that people left for dead last year. They thought that was going to be a lottery team. He took them to the playoffs. A Suns team won 24 games last year or 30 games last year. He has them in the finals. So his impact is undeniable. As far as Giannis is concerned, when you're talking about top 20, I got to hit my Lee course. So let's slow down a little bit. Hold on. Whoa, what are we talking about here? Let me just give you a guy that I always been a fan of because when I worked at LSU. Let me just give you a stat line. A guy did for his career was 26 points a game, 16 rebounds a game, 4 assists. He won 2 MVPs. He was a champion. He was All NBA first team 10 times. He was an 11-time All-Star. He was a 4-time All-Star game MVP, led the league in rebounding, and nobody considers this guy a top 20 player of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Bob Pettit. You don't even most people don't even know this guy played in the NBA unless you start going down the list. But he was 26 and 16 for his career. He won 2 MVPs. That doesn't make him a top 20 player of all time. But I do think with a title, maybe even a Finals MVP, Giannis jumps into that 50 greatest of all time because his sheer athletic ability, his talent, he works in that top 40, top 50 range. But to say top 20, I can't put him there just yet, man. Just because you have 2 MVPs, I mean, hell, Steve Nash got 2 MVPs, and I'm pretty sure if we sit down and we start naming 20 of the greatest NBA players of all time, Steve Nash might not make the cut in top 20. He might not make it.
No, Mike.
Let me respond to that, Coach. So as far as the Giannis part goes, you say Steve Nash ain't never get to the finals. I said if Giannis wins a ring, you could start having the discussion that he could be on the top 20. Steve Nash never even got to the finals. So you throw that argument away. Throw that argument away.
Well, let's bring up Bob Pettit. Okay, we'll throw it away. Let's bring up Bob Pettit.
We're gonna get into the Bob Pettit when we talk about the greatest players. We're gonna get into Bob Pettit.
All right.
But you made a great point with Bob Pettit, but throw that Steve Nash argument away.
I'll live with the Steve Nash. Because when Bob Pettit first got in the league, he was looked at as the 7-foot guy that could dribble. He could go coast to coast. He was one of the first athletes that stepped out and changed the game. And nobody looks at him as a top 20 player. Nobody.
Okay.
Yeah, you coming with the ESPN Classic, the ESPN 30 Classic.
To respond to Chris Paul. Look, to respond to Chris Paul, the reason why I would say put him as a top 3 point guard and I put my emphasis on point guard, and I say this all the time. Chris Paul is a top. He number 5 in assists all time. He's number 50. He's number 51 in turnovers. Just to put emphasis on that, John Stockton is number 4 in turnovers. Isaiah Thomas is number 11. Russell Westbrook is number 10. LeBron James is number 1. Chris Paul is number 51. You hear what I'm saying?
But hold on, but you talking about that, but John Stockton also has 15,000 assists. He has the unbreakable record in the NBA. He played 16 straight years. The guy averaged 15 assists a year one time.
If John Stockton not in your top 5 point guards, I don't know what to tell you.
Interject on that. Just to slide it. John Stockton also debatably one of the best top 2 players in the league. It's easy to get assists when you got somebody as talented as Karl Malone playing with you.
I'm gonna push back on that. I just think that Karl Malone's a little overrated because he played with the greatest assist man of all time.
I'm not even gonna go into that. Let me tell you, that ain't a hill I'm willing to stand beside you on.
Listen, I know full well that I stand on that hill by myself. I know I stand on that hill. I've always said that. I just think Karl Malone is a little overrated because he played with one of the greatest passers in NBA history. That's just me. That's just my feeling on the matter. If you list your greatest power forwards list, I guarantee Karl Malone probably not in your top 3. He's probably not in your top 4.
I got him number 3. I got him at number 3.
I'm just saying.
I got a number 3 too. I got a number 3 too.
I got him at number 3.
Behind who? I'm curious.
I'm about to say
behind Duncan and KG.
Duncan and KG.
I got him above KG. Me. He won number 2.
I feel you. Hey, listen, I respect it. Hey, I got
Malone above KG too.
I take Barkley and McHale both over Malone. That's just me.
Honestly, I'm taking Barkley over KG too.
Yeah,
y'all know who I'm taking over KG. Like, I ain't have to say. Y'all know who I'm taking over KG.
We're not even gonna talk about it.
Number 4.
I ain't gonna say who I would take over KG because boy Blake Dollar might try to tap in and start a whole nother debate.
Hey, Reezy, we heard from you with this Giannis and CP3 topic yet? About the legacy changes and who wins the ring?
Yeah. That's what I was saying was CP3 would jump up for me a couple spots because he's already top 10 all time, but he would jump up into 6 or 7 spots for me because I got to put Patrick. Yeah, did somebody got that YouTube on or something? I feel like if you have YouTube on or something, try to turn the.
Hold on, let me cut my mic off. See if it helps.
Yeah, just turn the volume down on YouTube if it feeds back. But basically, so my top 5 point guards: Magic, Curry, Zeke, Stockton, and Jason Kidd. And me and Coach had this conversation. We were in the group, and shout out Sports Debaters. The Sports Debaters Facebook group, but we're talking about who was the best passer of all time. And it came close between Magic and Jason Kidd. I mean, you look at some of their top passes, the way they pass, the intelligence, how they do it, it's unfathomable sometimes, the passes and the things they'll attempt and do. It's pure artistry, so I could arguably say, Jason Kidd was the best passer of all time. I'll lean towards Magic, but it's really hard for me not to have one of the arguably best passers of all time not in my top 5. Now, between CP3 and Jason Kidd, yes, CP3 is better at an old age towards the end of his career than Kidd. But Kidd, one thing what I liked about Kidd, as far as the difference of them, CP3 was a monster at steals. He was a monster at playing the passing lane, ripping the ball, things like that. Jason Kidd was a body that could play that on-ball defense that was unbelievable. He was durable as hell. He was an Iron Man. He played, you could rely on him. When it comes time towards the end of a season, playoff times, postseason, or maybe big regular season games towards the end of the season with playoff implications, he didn't go out with soft tissue injuries. He didn't have a record of every time the team needs him, every time the franchise needs you, in the most important, crucial moment, you're gone. And let's be really honest, until last year with OKC, this was the story of CP3's legacy. His legacy was hamstring. He gets out of New Orleans. Lob City, oh my God, we're so ready. We're so ready for Blake Griffin. We're so ready for DeAndre Jordan. Lob City. Then towards the end of the season, boom, hamstring. Next year, broken hand. Next year, knee. Next year, always some. So as far as the overall all-time ranking, I have to factor in the best ability is availability. So CP3 is doing wonders for his career right now, changing that narrative. But we got to be honest about what the narrative was up until that point. And with Kidd, he was the exact opposite. He was a guy that took the Nets to the finals. He was a guy that was an Iron Man, played consecutive, multiple seasons with, I think, at least 60 to 70 games played. Multiple seasons with 80 games played. So this is somebody who you could rely on, and then in the playoffs, and especially towards the end of his career, especially with the Mavs, the leadership and the things that he did there, where he created that set 3-point shot, where he could do a set shot, that enhanced the game as well. That was perfect for feeding off of Dirk and Jason Terry and all these other guys. So for me, career-wise, as a totality of a career, Kidd had a better overall reliability than CP3. Now, CP3 wins this ring this year. Yes, he's right up under Kidd, but for me, I have to still stick with one of the best passers in the history of the game.
Hey, I just got to add one thing to that. That was a beautiful diatribe that you just had. But I will say that we talk about Jason Kidd and Magic. I put them as the second and third best passer of all time. The greatest passer of all time to me is Pistol Pete Maravich.
Pistol Pete.
And
Okay,
Magic said he patterned his game after Pistol Pete. Some of the dimes that he would drop was just amazing. So that's why I always say that's the best passer and the second best dribbler of all time.
I can go with that. Actually, I can go with that because that's kind of the out of sight, out of mind thing that happens.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'll definitely shout out Pistol Pete for that.
I think whenever you're talking about best passers, efficiency plays a big role. And if we're talking about being able to drop these dimes and do these things and do it efficiently, CP3 is bar none.
Who would you say is more fluid? Like as far as like the pace?
CP3.
CP3. Fluidity. Like
CP3.
Really? Because I feel like the way he has like a floor general thing where he really liked him and Nash did the same thing where they would like to survey the court. Sometimes that would slow down your pace. With Kidd and Magic, and especially Pistol Pete, like how James pointed out, they were throwing the ball so far ahead, so fast. These outlets, the way they move, the way they almost see through the back of their head. I gotta say, Jason Kidd, Magic, Pistol Pete, and all that. I didn't put like white chocolate up there as far as
yes, sir.
The ball would be in your hand as an offensive player before you even realize it. Like
did you
that's crazy.
In New Orleans?
Hey, this is what I think.
At the Clippers. I mean, I'm just wondering because the same thing that you're saying, CP3 was doing that as well. He kept the floor, the pace of the game at which they would make them win. Like not the floor, the pace of the game need to be fast. Like he played the floor, the pace of the game at the right points in time, at the right speeds to conduct wins and not have all them turnovers. Like
I think y'all saying the same thing, just in a different variety.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. I see what you're saying. Mean go ahead,
Coach. This what I think. Those nice passes, they cute and everything. Like they are cute. The being the best passer or whatever. But CP3 proven throughout his career, and y'all seen it in these playoffs. John Rich, I know. Well, Coach, I'm gonna go to you. In Game 5 in the first round series, that was Game 6. When the Lakers was down big that whole time, they started to make a run. CP3 comes back in the game. The Lakers they dropped it down to 10. CP3 comes back in the game. Assist, 3-point shot. Basically, after that, LeBron came out the game. They basically gave up.
Killed the run. He killed the run.
The Nuggets. Every time the Nuggets had a run in those games, CP3 shut it down. He'll calm the team down. Y'all just seen it against the Clippers. y'all just seen it. Game 6 against the Clippers. CP3 came in. He had okay first half, but in the second half he exploded. Like
yeah. And I agree with you, and that's what I'm saying. I think they're saying the same thing. See, and I tell you, there's no one way to be successful. What Nelson is talking about is when with Jason Kidd, a Magic Johnson, a Bob Pitt, Pistol Pete. When he said they're in the flow of the game, they use the game to their advantage. I'm gonna push the pace when the pace needs to be pushed. I'm gonna get this guy when I see it. I'm gonna make the flashy pass. CP3 takes it to another level. Y'all gonna play at my speed. He takes the game by the neck. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, there's no one way to be successful. And like I said, they're in that aspect, they're all floor generals. They're all great at what they do. They just do it different ways. And just about it honestly goes back to how do you like your style of play? With that, me and Mingo had a discussion about the word, and I'm gonna use traditional point guard. most people use it in a bad connotation. Say, oh, Curry's not a traditional point guard. He's a two-guard playing point guard. If he's running the offense, if he's facilitating it, he is the point guard. You may not like that he's a first guy. You may not like that he looks for his shot first, but he is still the point guard and facilitator of that offense. It goes back to what you like.
Yeah, and then also like with CP3, I will give him some love as far as the way he closed out games, how you're bringing up how laser sharp he was. I actually noticed that, and I may argue this, but I want to argue that Harden actually might have brought something out of him a little bit, because I could tell that in Houston, CP3 was, and there was a rumblings that he was unhappy with Harden, the way he dominated the ball. And then towards the end of those games, especially in the playoffs, if CP3 hadn't had that hamstring game 5 where they were up 3-2 against the Warriors, the way that CP3 was closing games, like able to shoot these big time 3-point shots for Houston, I saw that again materialize with OKC. And now, like you pointed out, with Denver and the Clippers, and just watching how he's closing these people out, it's very similar. So I'm like, wow, this dude is laser sharp from 3. I mean, he's hitting you with the step back, the side step, pacing it. But I gotta agree with James as far as the pace wise. He liked doing it at his pace. And Jason Kidd and Magic and Pistol Pete it's almost like a fish in water. Like they would do things or see things so far ahead that they didn't care about the risk. So yes, you're gonna get. And I actually could make an argument. Tell me what you think about this, Kenny, as far as CP3's low turnovers or high assist to low turnover ratio. Mm-hmm. If I did a metaphor with football, that gives me a similar idea of how people try to criticize Aaron Rodgers, saying this guy throws the ball away a little too much or whatever, but look at his numbers. His numbers are perfect. You know what I'm saying? So this is a guy who throws the ball away because he saw that the play was dead. And so he decided, I'm not going to take this risk. I'm going to do these things. So he has a high completion percentage. I think people always bring that up. His touchdown ratio, I think it even smashes Tom Brady. His touchdown ratio is crazy high, but his interception ratio is crazy low. It's very similar to CP3 with his assist ratio, just unbelievably high, and then the turnover ratio really low. But they refuse to take specific risks that guys like Pat Mahomes or a guy like Brett Favre, would do. That's the same when I see like a Magic and a Jason Kidd. They have no fear.
Good analogy.
Good analysis. CP3 to Aaron Rodgers. That's hell of a. Yeah. Shout out to King. Hey, I want to give a shout out to Garrett Johnson. He said on May the 9th, Embiid or Greek will make their first finals appearance this year. What y'all think about that?
A broke clock is right twice a day.
Oh man!
Thank you. I rock with my.
Hey, I don't think Tom Brady really said this, but this shit was funny as hell. Congratulations to Chiefs fans. Now you can finally shoot off those celebratory fireworks you've been holding since the Super Bowl. I don't think.
Yeah. Hey, one thing about Brady, man, he became a social media. He loves social media now.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it past you.
Yeah, him and Gronk. You see how him and Gronk.
What y'all gonna do? Take his endorsements here already?
That's what I'm saying. I ain't got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
He's on his Kobe farewell tour. He's just like, everybody celebrate me. I don't give a damn. 7 rings. Ain't shit.
Hey, one more post. Gilbert Arena says Zion would be best at shooting guard. I honestly may think he's right.
Gilbert Arenas has a cannabis company, so he's been getting high on his own.
Oh yeah, he definitely cheating on that one.
That man also bought a loaded pistol.
Let me tell you something now. Don't do cannabis too bad, because I know a lot of those sports commentators up there. A lot of
no,
those
listen.
sports commentators of that be high.
I have nothing against Canada. I just say you could just tell when people are sampling the products.
Yeah, that's like, they got that
They
all of the
consuming
smoke
more than they
podcast.
selling, huh?
He's smoking his own
Oh,
supply.
man.
Man. Smoking his
Yeah,
own
all of the smoke podcast that we got Steven Jackson.
I mean,
That's kind of crazy. So, I
To
don't
be
know.
Hey, yo, that was funny.
completely
Man.
honest, though, to be
How you
completely
gonna
honest,
sell
if they
weed?
took him out of the low post and let him play kind of like how Giannis be playing, he'll be he'll be effective. Now, more effective than him playing in the post and bullet ball and what he do right now. I don't think so, but it wouldn't be bad to add that to his game. Like in certain points of the game, just let him like catch the ball at the 3-point line a couple of times and just kind of roll past everybody.
They started using him like that a lot.
Would you compare his game to like Charles
game.
Barkley?
Yeah, undersized, athletic. You know what I'm saying?
Rebounding.
Yeah, rebound, can get down. You know what I'm saying? In the post.
I don't think he has the dribbling skills or he's that fluid of athlete personally.
Dribbling, no.
Watching
Dribbling, no. What about passing though? Like he's a decent passer.
He's a decent passer. I think really and truly that's what he would really needs to focus on. If he, because they're gonna start doubling the shit out of Zion. You can't stop it. Let's just call it what it is. It just is what it is. Once he starts getting better court awareness and better vision, you know what I'm saying, working on his passing, he's gonna be dangerous. He's gonna be super dangerous.
Coach, would you want to see him working on outside shooting with this new modernized game?
I don't. Again, I think that's a fallacy. People fell in love with what Golden State did. You're not Golden State. We will probably never see anything like that again. At the end of the day,
on the screen. Oh my god!
at the end of the day, man, I think it's just good basketball wins out. Point blank. Period. Giannis is not no knockdown 3-point shooter. He's playing in the finals. He has 2 MVPs. I think if he can work on that free throw line, extended jumper, a nice little mid-range game, he'll be all right because people are going to start playing him off to try to protect the rim. But I don't think he needs to add the 3-ball like that. If he shoots around 34-35%, he'll be just fine. But if I'm a team, I don't want Zion getting 3 happy. Let me say it like that. I don't want him because that's my biggest problem with Anthony Davis. Get your ass from around the 3-point line, son. Get your ass over to the mid.
Biggest guard, the tallest guard in the league.
Yeah,
Anthony Davis and Kristaps Porzingis, boy, get your big ass.
The problem.
So as far as the outside shooting though, with you make a great point with when I look at Giannis, not the greatest outside shooter, but if I'm a GM, I have Giannis or Zion, I'm so happy, man. Because if you think about their ethic, their work ethic, especially with Giannis, he's really gotten better at outside shooting every year. He's gotten better at everything, slightly, a little bit by little, every year. So that type of ethic, that type of integrity, as far as how hard you're going to work, things is great. But I think James makes a great point that outside shooting, and that is a fallacy to overall for a big man, for a power forward, because we got spoiled by a lot of the Dirks and a lot of people like that. But if you just look at their stats, points per game and things like that, man, Zion had some great numbers, and we know Greek did.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I think like you saying, dudes like Dirk, and then you got like the KGs, the Bronze, the Giannis, like the dudes that just do everything for a team. I think a lot of people fell in love with that mold of a player. That you got this weakness in your game, so now you need to do this. Like everybody want great players to be perfect. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you're gonna have a weakness somewhat. You know what I mean? It's only one Michael Jordan ever walk a court. There's only one LeBron ever walk a court. You know, them dudes have weaknesses though. And I think a lot of people fall in love with the idea that if you can't do this, even though you can do everything else at a scale of 100, if the other thing is at 75, then man, you need to fix that. And it's like one person don't have to do everything. As long as my team can do everything, that's cool. And I think that's what a lot of people actually miss about the Warriors. Yeah, the Warriors were a great shooting team. Of course, you had Curry and Klay Thompson, who are knockdown shooters, and then you added KD. Outside of them two, the rest of the team actually weren't knockdown shooters. You know what I'm saying? They get big shots at great times, but I mean, when they had Harrison Barnes was not a knockdown shooter. Iggy is not a knockdown shooter. Bogut, not a shooter at all. Draymond had one good year he shot. I don't know where the shot went. It just left all of a sudden. But I think he got like 38% then. I don't know what. But as a team, their team was good at every aspect of basketball. They had several great defenders. They had several great shooters, several great ball handlers, several great slashers, several great rim protectors. And just as a team, as a total team, they were great at everything. You know what I'm saying? I think that's actually what's good about Utah now. Like, although they out of it now, but as a team, Utah can do everything. You know what I'm saying? I think that statistically they just as great of a shooting team as their Warriors team were. You know, I think they made at least 10 threes every game this year, something like that. The first team to ever do that. Like that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I think a lot of dudes fall in love with that ideal. Giannis need to work on his three ball. Hell no, the Bucks play better when Giannis don't shoot threes. You know what I'm saying? And the same thing with Zion. Zion don't need to fall in love with the three. Of course, it don't hurt to be able to do it, but don't fall in love to it. It starts making the game one-dimensional. It's easier to defend because I'm gonna just let you. I'm gonna just live with it. If that's what you're gonna do, we're gonna live with it, and we're gonna just make sure you don't dominate us in the paint, put us in foul trouble, be able to kick out the better shooters and all that. So hey, if you would rather take the three other than Brandon Ingram, fine, Zion, do that. You know.
What do you think about the lack of the post game from power forwards? Like as far as big men in the league, yeah, we have Embiid and we have Jokic who have real post games, right? Real footwork, real post games. But as far as power forwards, we brought up KG, we brought up Dirk and things of that nature. Those guys were able to do a lot of face up playing, playing facing the basket. As a big man, as a power forward, what do you think about saying that like Tim Duncan and Aldridge was the last power forwards that could bring like an actual legitimate post game with the footwork, the fundamentals of technique?
I think a lot of that disappeared because of the dominance of guards. Like offenses are more guard oriented now. So, I mean, you got bigs, like, I'll take even like a Paul Millsap. Paul Millsap used to go to work in the post. He can't do it no more. It's just he's on teams that they don't need you to dominate the offense anymore. So I think they still got guys that can do it, but because offenses are so guard-oriented now, you don't see it. They want to spread the floor. I also think it's easier to scheme a defense to defend the post than it is to scheme it defending a motion offense. If you're in the post, I'm gonna just double down on. Like if you kill him in the post, I'm gonna just double down, and you're gonna kick it out. So I mean, it's easier to get shots away from the basket. It's crazy as it seems. Like it sounds weird that it's harder to get a good shot closer to the basket, but I can collapse my defense and make your shot harder.
See, I would actually I gotta push back on that a little bit because as far as the Mavericks championship, right? Mavericks championship, when you see that post game is solid, because Dirk could do both. Dirk could face you up and he could right. So when he caught it on that elbow, or when Duncan caught it on that elbow, everybody in the world knew what was happening. You knew that if you double team him, I would even say like maybe Dwight in Orlando, it was even the same thing where you knew what was happening. But they were able to make their own, again, like almost like CP3, slow down the pace. You throw it to the post. Everybody knows because of spacing, right? Everybody knows that double team is going to happen. Boom, open threes all the time. And that's what Dirk was doing when he was killing them, throwing it out to Terry, throwing it out to Kidd. That's what Duncan was doing when he would be hitting Ginobili and all his other guys out of the post. So I would actually argue it's not easier to stay away from the post game. I would say that once you have a post player that the technique is that sound, then you can actually kind of run your offense through the post. Because we can see like Jokic and these other guys can pick you apart. They'll throw it to Murray or whoever else is out there. Michael Porter Jr.
I think that that's unfair like analysis or unfair like the way you put in tap and trap. You're talking about two of the greatest to ever play the game of basketball. And comparing that to the way the game was played, like those guys are They're in the estimates of their own. You talking about Dirk and Duncan like that was the normal prototypical type power forwards when that wasn't. That was two of the best players to ever play basketball game who you compare into like the NBA normalcy of power forwards wasn't the caliber game from the power forward position. That wasn't just the average power forward could do what Dirk and Duncan done. That's why.
Okay, that's a good point. But let me ask you this. Let me ask you this about that. Would you say that the reason why Tim Duncan and Dirk and these guys were so great was their fundamental skill set or their physical attributes and ability? Because I would argue that players today are more physically gifted.
They call him the big fundamental.
They have worse
Dirk
fundamentals.
was great because he had a wet jumper. You know what I'm saying?
That's developed in the gym. You make a jumper in the lab, right?
Not just a wet jumper. Wasn't Dirk like 7'1"?
Yeah,
like the wettest jump, like you know what I'm saying? He could hit the ball in the post, and if you doubled, who were you doubling him with? Couldn't nobody block his little lean back 7'1" shot that he took. You know what I'm saying?
Put it like this way. If you gave Giannis Dirk's skill set.
Man, might be the fucking
greatest. Tell me that's not a more physically situation going on.
You talking about Dirk running around fast, dunking on motherfuckers, still shooting the way he shoot, man.
Yeah, doing the one-legged fadeaway and shit.
Hey,
that actually hit a free throw.
You remember back?
That's like an NBA live creative play and put everything 99.
Hey,
we talking about a creative player.
Can we not exclude the fact that they were surrounded by a good core of players? It was made it that much better and easier for them. Let's not act like Duncan had the Mobley, Rob, or Bruce Bowen, a good core of players around.
Sean Elliott.
It's the same as Dirk. I mean, they're both two of the best in their right, but it's a 5-on-5, not a 1-on-5. If I got a power forward big with A+ rate, and he's starting with a team of C plus B- shooters at best. As a coach, I would take my chances of them beating me as opposed to the big beating. You couldn't do that with Dirk. You couldn't do that with Dirk and Tim because you had other players on the team that would kill them and kill you as well.
Troll God. I want to start off with you on this next topic because you said you was taking notes, so I'm gonna start off with you.
Okay.
The top 10 players to play in the 80s.
Oh, okay. I got my little list right here. Yeah. Okay. So, I don't see that.
Start off at number 10.
Number 10, I got James Worthy. 3-time NBA champ, 88 Finals MVP, 4 times All-Star. 9, I got McHale. 3-time champ, 5-time All-Star, 2-time 6th Man of the Year, time All-Defensive First Team. 8, I got Dominique Wilkins. 4-time All-Star, 86 scoring title, 85 dunk, 86 All-NBA First Team. 7 and 6, I'm kind of going back and forth about. 7, I got Dr. J. 83 champ, 91 NBA MVP. 81. What's that? NBA MVP, 8-time All-Star, 5-time All-NBA First Team. 6, I got Isaiah Thomas. I was kind of back and forth about Dr. J and Zeke at 7 and 6, but I'm gonna keep Zeke at 6. 89 Finals champion, 8 All-Star, 3-time All-NBA First Team. Now, the top 5, I don't think everybody's gonna have very much of a difference. At 5, I got 88.
Cut out. What'd you say?
At 88, I got Jordan at number 5.
Jordan.
88. 88 5-time All-Star, 85 Rookie of the Year, 3-time scoring champ, 88 NBA Defensive Player of the Year. At 4, I got the mailman. That's Ron Malone. 4, I got Moses Malone.
Ooh, Moses.
My fault. I just got Malone. I'm sorry. Cannabis. Yeah. All right, yeah, 4. Malone, 83 champion, 83 Finals MVP, 2-time MVP, 10-time All-Star. Man, literally made the All-Star every year of the 80s. Number 3, I got Kareem, 5-time champ, 85 Finals MVP, 80 MVP, 10-time All-Star as well, 4-time NBA first team. 2, Larry Bird, obviously, and 1, Magic Johnson.
All right, anybody disagree with that?
I mean, I'm pretty sure we all got our differences. I definitely don't got Dr. J all the way down on the list, but that's probably
which is why I was going back and forth between him and Zeke at 7 and 6.
Gotcha.
But my top 5 was 10.
The order, man, it had one person missing.
Who did you have number 2? Was that Larry Bird, or where was Bird at?
Yeah, Bird 2, Magic 1.
Okay, 2.
Hey, Reezy, I think you said you had some notes too. I want to hear your top 10.
Okay, so yeah, you made some great points as far as let's see, let me go down. Okay, so my top 10, I'm going with number 10, Hakeem Olajuwon.
Same thing I got.
And the reason why I got
That's the same thing I got.
yeah, okay, so yeah, okay, I thought y'all was gonna jump on me, but okay, I'm feeling kind of safe now. Okay, let's go. No, the reason why Hakeem, he played 5 seasons, 5 All-Stars, all 5 seasons in the 80s. 3-time NBA All-First Team, 2-time NBA All-Defensive Team. Just prolific. You know what I'm saying? When we talk about footwork and post game, this dude was surgical, right? Number 9, I'm going James Worthy. The reason why is I have a lot of people, especially current NBA fans and maybe current younger Laker fans, may not understand how cold James Worthy was, man.
A dog.
A dog. I mean, a dog. And it'd be you. How could you be on a team with Kareem? Right, you on a team with Kareem and Magic, and a lot of times people are calling you Big Game James because you're the one closing game. And Magic and Kareem realize that and feed them like this man right here. Is the X factor. So yeah, it's savage. So just some of his notable accolades is that Finals MVP and 88, 4-time NBA All-Star, and just the way that he played, it changed all things. So number 8, I'll go. I'm going with Neek because of his athletic ability, his ability to score, and his. I would say that's probably his biggest downfall was the other guys like the Michael Jordans and the Clyde Drexlers and the guys who came in had, a much higher shooting field goal percentage, and that changed things. But he was a savage as far as dunking and stuff. I always remember that side dunk that he bumped Bird on, dunked on his ass. Larry Bird was mad as fuck too. But that I always remember that dunk where he dunked on Larry Bird. This is where it kind of got tough for me, man, because these names were so big that it hurt my feelings. Yeah, it hurt my feelings.
76, right? Yeah, I told you, same with me.
And so because I want to put Isaiah Thomas much higher. I want to put Isaiah Thomas much higher, but I got him at 7 with the Pistons. The first perimeter player to win championships were in an era of the big man, where the ball originally was supposed to be going to the big man, and he kind of changed that. So that was crazy because it paved the way for perimeter guys being the stars like MJ and all these guys, and definitely your Magics and your Birds. Then I'll go Julius Irving at 6. Yeah, he was a boss. I mean, this dude at champion in 83, MVP, NBA MVP in 81, 8-time All-Star. Played a total of 8 seasons within the 80s both
Hey,
years.
Reezy, hold on. I just want to give a shout out to CA3 Sports. The last 3 comments. He from Detroit, y'all. Just to let y'all know he live in Detroit. He a diehard Detroit fan. So
I just want to let you know he'll never.
That boy drunk.
Yeah,
Hey, I wanted to come at his head myself, bro. When he said MJ wasn't top 5 in the 80s, I was like, is this kid
my eyes got big
smoking?
when I saw that.
What the hell?
Hey, y'all still my dog. Hey, my dog from Detroit, man. Y'all let him live. My dog from Detroit.
I apologize, CA3, man. I apologize.
My bad, bro.
But I will say this: Zeke will never ever leave my top 3 as far as the point guard. Okay. Because as far as like the ability to be a general type of leader he was, how hardcore he was, do people? I mean, I really think that they should make a documentary just about how the Bad Boy Pistons and what they did to Michael Jordan and make it more detailed and go into depth of it. Because them boys were savages. They were bullies, and it started to follow Zeke's lead on that. So he was a monster, man.
That boy said top 5
and then the top 5, I agree with Trogon. I agree. So I think Trogon, make sure I have this right. I'm gonna run through it fast, let other people talk. So Michael Jordan, he didn't play, the entire time, but he was a scoring leader. The old heads of the NBA at that time wanted to label him a high scorer that would never win a championship. He got robbed of a Defensive Player of the Year. He should have had 2 because before Pippen arrived, he was the only player to have 200 steals and 100 blocks twice, but they only gave him the Defensive Player of the Year 1 time because of the political aspect of the league at the time. They gave it to, but it should have been Jordan. So they thought he was just too cocky, too much of an asshole, his personality. So they robbed him of a DPOY. So imagine that if he had 2 DPOYs, we probably wouldn't ever be talking about the LeBron GO conversation. So I'm gonna leave that out. But anyways, Moses Malone 4, just a monster, savage in every way. And I do got to read off some of his stats because this dude, champion in '83, Finals MVP 83. 2-time NBA MVP, 10-time NBA All-Star, arguably probably one of the best rebounders of all time, unless you want to put it up there, was Rodman. Next one, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, monster in every way. We all know about Cap. Larry Bird, monster, and Magic Johnson.
Hey,
Tell that to CA3 Sports Talk and True to King TV. They both said MJ wasn't top 5 in the 80s.
Oh, I got the Jordan one. That's one of my favorite stat lines to read. I got it.
Hey, hold on, Coach. Hey.
5 years of 80s, 5-time All-Star. 3 of them years, he had a scoring title. That's 35 years of 80s. You had some that didn't do that in 10 years.
Won the MVP, was the 3-time all defensive, was defensive MVP, led the league in skills, led the league in scoring, dunk champion twice, all-star MVP, all in his first 4 years in the league. And he's not a top 5 player. Man, get the fuck out of here.
Thank you. I don't know Coach mad, man. Thank you. Coach can curse and get away with it. He ain't gonna get the check.
Hey, I want to go next.
I appreciate that, man.
I want to go next.
Real quick, before you go, Kenny, remember what Zeke said about Jordan? He said, I've never seen this polished as far as fundamentals. That goes back to what we're talking about with Dirk and Duncan and all these people back in the day. Skills and fundamentals, staying in the gym, practicing certain drills to have skill sets. Like as you lose athleticism, your skill set is what take you. So imagine Michael Jordan, the most athletic player, the highest vertical, 46-inch vertical, and the most skills. That's what that Zeke always talked about. He's like, we had to beat dude up. We had to beat dude up because we ain't never seen someone this fundamentally sound and then you add the athleticism. But go ahead.
Hey, I want to go next because my top 5 is different from y'all. My top 5 different.
Yeah, so I'm thank you for that 7 and 6, Reezy, because they got dark to me, as you can see, right here.
Hey,
what do you say, Trogon?
Yeah, I said that. Thank you for clarifying that 7 and 6 where it got dark for you, because I was contemplating Zeke at 7 and then Dr. J at 6 myself. That's where it got kind of iffy. Yeah, that's all. I knew somebody was going to say something about that, so thank you for bringing it up. Go on ahead, Ken. I'm done.
All right. So like I said, I agree with Weezy. I got Hakeem 10. Hakeem, any other rookie year, any other rookie, he would have probably won Rookie of the Year that year. But of course, Jordan, 28, 6 and 6, 52% shooting. Like, there's nothing you could do with that. And he helped Ralph Sampson. They went to the NBA Finals, I think, the second year, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, second year. So I got Hakeem. I got Dominique 9. Unfortunately, I don't have Word on my list because I thought Kevin McHale was better. A lot of players that guarded Kevin McHale say he was the best power forward they ever guarded as far as footwork goes. I got Kevin McHale. I got Dr. J 7. I got Isaiah Thomas 6. Isaiah Thomas. The reason I got Jordan over Isaiah because when Jordan after Jordan injury year, his second year, that third year, Isaiah Thomas never seen an All-NBA first team again. after when Jordan started making All-NBA teams, Isaiah Thomas ain't never seen an All-NBA first team again.
So we argue politics. We argue politics. This is the golden boy of the league saying, "I don't like that nigga. Don't have him on the dream team. That nigga never coming on the dream team." So can we argue that Michael Jordan politically got his way as far as awards and things of that nature?
No. It didn't have nothing to do with politics. It had something to do with his MVP year. He averaged 35, 6 and 6, shooting 53%. After that, he averaged 32, 8 and 3, shooting over 50%. And then he averaged 33. It had nothing to do with politics. He was just better. He was just better.
Right, but you get 2 spots, right? So All NBA, there's another guard spot.
Magic.
I said Thomas, great player, horrible troll.
Well, I trolled on accident. Goddamn.
I said Thomas is a horrible troll.
Here's what gets different for me. And Troll God, me and you had this conversation before. I got Kareem Abdul-Jabbar 4. I got Moses Malone 3.
I can see that. You guys think about it. Moses Malone gave Kareem work all in the 80s, average 20 and damn near 20 and 20 the whole team.
Kareem got one MVP in the 80s. Moses Malone got 2. Moses Malone gave Kareem work in the 83 finals. They swept the Lakers. He went to the Sixers. They swept the Lakers. Moses Malone was absolutely better in the 80s than Kareem.
Yes.
Yeah, we had that conversation. I hung that post too, boys.
I see you, coach.
If you go by the numbers,
I see you, coach.
If you go by the numbers, if you go by when they played each other, if you go by individual awards.
All right, we gotta put Coach on the big screen and let him go off.
Hey, coach, I'm gonna let you go, Coach. I'm gonna let you go after me, Coach. So if you go by numbers, if you go when they played each other, if you go by player awards, Moses Malone was a better player in the 80s.
Yes,
you know what? You convinced me. I'm changing my list too. I'm gonna put Moses Malone.
The same, but I support his argument because I posted it. That is actually true. Moses Malone gave Kareem work in the 80s. Kareem was just on the better team.
Hey, but Coach, you about to be mad at me again, Coach.
He's setting like he's over here just boiling, boy.
You about to be mad at me again. Now, if we talk about the top 10, as if we include their whole career, I got Magic above Bird. If we include the whole career, but the fact that after Kareem retired, Magic, he went on to win 2 All NBA first team. He was second in MVP to Jordan in the '91, and he led that young Lakers team to NBA Finals. I got Magic above Bird. But if we talking about just the 80s, I got Larry Bird number 1. I got Larry Bird.
Okay. Wow.
Larry Bird number 1. Larry Bird.
Here we go.
He came in the league. Now Magic won. He won the NBA Finals. Kareem was MVP that year, though. They gave Magic that Finals MVP because Kareem didn't play that last game. But Kareem was MVP that year. He was the best player on that team. Bird came in the league, won Rookie of the Year, and got Boston to the Eastern Conference Finals in his rookie year. Bird got 3 consecutive MVPs in the 80s.
The last player to ever do that. He's still the last player to ever get 3 consecutive MVPs.
But before the 96 Bulls, the 86 Celtics was considered the best team ever. The 86 Celtics. I got Bird. I got Bird number 1, Magic number 2. John Rich.
Kenny, who you got at 3? Who you got at 3?
I got Malone 3. Moses Malone.
All right.
But Kenny, you said that overall career, you have Magic over Bird, right?
Yeah, overall career.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say overall career. I would actually say I think we've had this conversation. Magic had a solid GOAT case. Solid case as GOAT. Just the way he started his career out. But unfortunately,
Coach, I know you want to respond to my list. I'm gonna let you go ahead. Let me put you on the big screen, Coach.
Put him on the big screen. Everybody turn their volume down because he about to go out.
You got some little kids roaming around. Put your headphones in.
I actually got a couple of surprises on the list that's gonna surprise you as well, but it's good. Number 10, I got Hakeem, one of the most skilled players in NBA history, hands down.
Kenny, is that you? Echo. Can you hear me?
You check me. All right. I got Hakeem as one of the most skilled players in NBA history, hands down. He's number 10. Number 9, I struggled with this one as a Laker fan. I was gonna put my guy on that big game, but I had to go with Kevin McHale. One of I still have him as a top 4 power forward of all time. What he did, how skilled he was, his passing, his shooting, his footwork. He was that dude. Number 8, I got Dominique. He was just one of those guys that if you didn't like Dominique, something wrong with you, man. Everything about his game was just, you know what I'm saying? Like he was a top-notch player, man, hands down. Still the game that sticks out to me was the game he had against Bird in New Orleans, where he dropped 50 and Bird dropped 55. So, you know what I'm saying? That was one of the greatest playoff games in NBA history. Number 7, I got Isaiah Thomas. Again, went through Bird, went through Magic, went through Jordan to get his title. Zeke, prototypical point guard, floor general. Like you said, he was one of the first small guard to win an NBA title as the leader of his team. There was no doubt who was the leader of the Pistons team. It was Isaiah. Number 6, I got Moses Malone. Great player, MVP, helped Dr. J win a championship down in the Sixers, and that's who I got at number 6, Dr. J. I was introduced to Dr. J as a young kid. That's why I said one of the guys I expounded on. My dad put me on Dr. J. Like I say, 2-time ABA champion. He was a 2-time ABA playoff MVP. He was a 3-time ABA MVP of the league. He was an NBA MVP. He was 5-time All-NBA in the 80s. He was one of the first guys to go for 30,000 points, 10,000 rebounds, and 5,000 assists. In his 81 MVP season, he shot over 50%. He was 25 a game, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, and he was second in the league in steals that year. So he finished up with over 2 steals a game. Number 4, I have MJ down at number 4. He played 5 years in the 80s. He's drafted in 84, but he broke his foot. He was All-NBA 4 times. He was an MVP. He was the All-Star Game MVP. He was a 4-time All-Star, 2 All Defensive Teams, Defensive MVP, Rookie of the Year, dunk contest twice, 3-time scoring leader, and he led the league in steals. That's some people's career, and he did that in 5 years. So I got him down at number 4. Number 3, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Again, the Chiefs, the captain, Lou Alcindor. He, to me, I tell it to people all the time, he is the most accomplished basketball player of all times. 4 state champions in high school, 3 NCAA titles. The only reason why he doesn't have 4 because freshmen weren't allowed to play college on the varsity team. The only team UCLA lost to that year was their freshman squad due to a guy named Lou Alcindor. I will admit that in the 80 series against the Sixers, Moses did give him that work. I'm not even gonna sit up here and lie and deny it. But overall, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was a better player. He still has the most unstoppable move in NBA history. He's the all-time leading scorer in NBA history. So he did his work in the 80s as well. Even though his 70s were more prolific, I still give him number 3 as far as this list is concerned. Number 2. Magic Johnson.
Oh, okay.
Irving Magic Johnson. Again, he sticks out on this list. He's my dad's favorite basketball player. If anybody tells my dad that Michael Jordan is better than Magic Johnson, he's going to fight them. So Magic Johnson is number 2.
I can attest.
All right, you already know.
Tell your dad I said, what's up with that debate then?
and number 1, Larry Bird. I still say Larry Bird is the greatest small forward of all time. He is the last NBA player to win 3 consecutive MVPs. He's besides Steph Curry, he's the only NBA player to make the 50-40-90 club twice. People forget he was a 3-time 3-point champion in the 80s. One time he didn't even take off his shooter shirt. And the story is he walked up to the guys before the contest and said, "Which one of you bitches coming in?"
I'm in second, but he said the N-word.
Yeah.
They let him say it. Like that's
let him say
cold-blooded, bro.
Exactly.
If you can walk into the locker room saying, "Which one of y'all ninjas lose?"
Which one of you niggas coming in second?
Not to interject too much, dog. I don't care how cool he was. That's an ass whooping off rip. Excuse my language.
But look, I think Larry Bird was able to say that because he also said you better not put a white guy to guard.
Straight up. And just a quick little interjection on the respect I got for Bird. My dad got to go to a game, a New Orleans Jazz game, before the team moved, and it was Christmas. It was the day before Christmas, and there was 3 seconds left on the clock, and the Celtics were inbounding the ball. Larry Bird caught it at the left elbow, took a step back, shot the 3, and shot the game winner. He looked in the crowd and said, "Merry Christmas, motherfuckers," and walked off. And to top it off, he was the 1986 AP Athlete of the Year. He did it all. He was a superstar incarnate, and that's my number 1 player of the 80s.
I don't even want to go. CA3 fired up. I want to see what my man.
CA3, what's up, CA3?
What's going on, man?
Man, come on, get in this.
E-Town in the house, goddamn.
Listen.
Give him the big screen.
I'm kind of doing this. I'm kind of doing this off the cuff because I ain't expect to do this, but you know, I'm gonna do it with y'all, brother. So at number 10, I would say I got Hakeem. Number 9. Man. Number 9. I would say number 9. I'll put Neek. Number 8. I know I'm gonna miss somebody, but at number 8, I'm gonna put. No, I can't put Mikal that low. Number 8, man.
Yeah, we should have gave you a heads up, bro. So you could have.
Yeah. If I had a heads up, I'll be able to make this list.
So hold on. So let's just skip that. Skip all that.
What idea? That's what I want to know.
What did you disagree with?
Well, you have Isaiah Thomas.
I just disagree with. I disagree with putting Jordan that high because he only played 5 full seasons in the 80s.
But he won every award possible in those 5 years. There was no award.
That's cool, but I can't say he had the overall better. He only had 5 seasons. Like I can't I can't put him that high if he only had 5 full seasons. That's just me. You know, and ain't nobody saying that Jordan had a great run in the 80s because I'll be lying. But I'm just saying.
Hold on Jordan. Let's really specify. He really had 4 because he got hurt this season. So he did.
I mean, if you count 89, 89, yeah, I know he got hurt. That's what I'm saying. But I was kind of 89, 90, but I was kind of 89, 90 season. But yeah, I know he got hurt. But I'm saying, yeah, I can't put him up there just because of that. You know,
Larry Bird over here calling other people N-words, but you calling Michael Jordan the Black Jesus.
Straight up. That wasn't Michael Jordan.
Even Zeke said himself. Yeah, Zeke gave him credit for being the most skilled, but he wasn't worried about the Bulls in the 80s.
Because he had to put up 63 points in the
Hold on. Hey, let me respond to that. CA.
The Jordan rule.
Yeah.
CA, let me respond to that. The Pistons, I forget which, I think it was their first championship.
Yeah.
They lost 2 games in the playoffs. Tell me who those 2 games they lost to.
The Bulls. I know.
So I think Isaiah Thomas saying that he wasn't worried about the Bulls in the 80s, I think that was a lie. I think they seen the Bulls coming. Like
I think he was talking about specifically in the 80s time period. Of course he was worried about them down the road. But I'm just talking about in the 80s just in general. You weren't worried about the Bulls like that. They weren't in their form yet.
CA3.
Yeah.
I have to call Cap, but I'm gonna put on the cap with the weed cannabis on it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like
with the devil's lettuce.
With the weed cannabis, because what are the Jordan rules, man? Jordan rules.
Right.
Worried about
that was made in the 80s, not the 90s. That was made.
Cap. I don't know. I think that Isaiah had a big ego, and it was posturing. You say we're not worried about it, but I think they were very worried about him because the physical toll, the way they attacked him, the Bill Lambiers, the Rick Mahorns, and the was it Adrian? What's his name?
Adrian Dantley.
I mean, nobody. Let's be real. Adrian Dantley was probably the scariest dude as far as fighting. Physically fighting. That dude would knock you. He had like them hands. He had hands like sledgehammers, right? But I think they were worried about Michael Jordan, especially with those first few years with Pippen. Because with Pippen, they were like, okay, let's take out his sidekick. Remember that big knot that Pippen got on his head?
Yeah.
When they knocked him out, he got that concussion stuff. Yeah. They knew, like, let me neutralize the one guy that can help this dude, because they didn't want to face both Pippen and. I'm definitely worried about MJ.
I ain't say he worried about. I'll argue he was worried about Jordan.
But I would say my main argument for not having Jordan in the top 5 is that I just don't think he played long enough in the 80s. That's my main argument.
Okay, so if he never played long in the 80s, let's just say this. I never even looked at the stats. Jordan Rich, you would probably know. Blocks and steals. Jordan and Isaiah, who has more in the 80s?
Definitely Jordan got more blocks. Steals, I don't know. It might be neck and neck on steals just because Zeke had about 4 more years of playing. You know what I'm saying? But definitely Jordan.
Zeke definitely got more assists. While points.
Jordan blew him out the water now.
Like I mean,
it only took 4 years to do it. Exactly. You know what I mean?
Let's keep it real. He had 10 total scoring titles. Next closest person.
What dudes don't realize is that the 90s brought Jordan scoring average down to where it is now. You know what I'm saying? The 90s brought it down.
Right.
He was
all-time leader in points per game.
I mean, to me, he was better when his average was down. He was better. True.
He's a better player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say the same thing with Isaiah Thomas. Well, early on in Isaiah Thomas's career, he was walking 20 and 10. But when his average dropped, he got better because he elevated his team more, and he got better. Yeah.
I agree with that because your basketball IQ went up. Same with Kobe after Gasol.
Yeah.
Kobe with Shaq was still kind of selfish. But
in
with Gasol era,
in the 10 years in the 80s, how many MVPs did Isaiah win?
None.
How many defensive MVPs did he win?
None.
So if MJ did it in 4 and Isaiah did it couldn't do it in 10, you got to put MJ up there.
Jordan got every award possible except
In
most
4
improved
years.
because he ain't shit to improve.
In 4 years.
You know what I'm saying? He got every award
has to
possible
improve.
in 4 years. Scoring titles, I think still title.
He won a steal title.
All NBA first team, all defensive first team, defensive MVP, dunk champion, shit like
All-Star game MVP.
All-Star game MVP
Right.
in this many years.
Man, Jordan got the award in the 80s for buying the most popcorn in the concession stand. that's just how many accolades he got. Like it wasn't nothing he wasn't doing.
Right.
Yeah, man.
And to this day, him and Larry Bird still have one of the most famous commercials ever.
Hey, that's a fire
All
commercial.
time.
Yeah.
That's a fire commercial.
Definitely. Let's not forget the advertisements and money with advertisements.
Nothing but net.
Yeah, but coach, I got a question for you though, man.
What you got?
Why is Muslim Law your top 5, bro?
He's number
That's a
6.
good question. That's a good question.
Because I got to place him. Bird is number 1, Magic number 2, Kareem. You're not moving those guys anywhere. You're not gonna move Jordan. And I just think what Dr. J did, for like I say, from going from the ABA to the NBA, people don't realize when he went to the NBA, people thought he was gonna fall off. Everybody was like, "Oh, it's a different game," say he's playing with professionals now, and all he did was go win the MVP and numerous first team All NBAs. Like I said, he went 30,000 points, 10,000 rebounds, 5,000 assists. Jordan actually wanted to be MJ. You know what I'm saying? He set up the dunk contest. You know what I'm saying? His legacy alone, you know what I'm saying, separated him. So that's why I had to put him top 5. You got to think about it. Everybody wanted to be Dr. J. MJ looked up to Dr. J. So his influence on the game as well, as far as also being a baller. So that's why I got Dr. J just a smidge ahead of Moses. Moses number 6, you know what I'm saying? I got respect for Moses, but I just gave the nod to Dr. J.
Also, let's talk about the rivalry between Dr. J and Larry Bird.
Who? And the ball scrapping.
That got physical.
You know what I'm saying? Like it was heated.
Headlock.
Yeah, and the Celtics and 76ers had a history of rivalries before both of those players played as well. So that was going on in the 70s. So yeah, Dr. J, man, he was a staple of somebody who could battle the most coldest dude ever, take your manhood, fuck up your whole self-confidence and beat you. And we saw it with Larry Bird.
Was Dr. J that guy in the 80s though? Like,
yes, he was.
Moses.
He was still getting.
I just couldn't put. I mean, I think Dr. J was better with his time with the Nets. That's just my opinion. But I just don't think you can put Dr. J above Moses Malone in the 80s. Like the man Moses Malone, he pretty much almost averaged at least 20 and almost 15 every year in the 80s, and he made the All-Star every year in the 80s. Like that man was he was like a 5-time rebound champion in the 80s. Like you can't top that, bro.
Hey, let me just give you Dr. J stats in the 80s, starting in 1980 when he got to with the Sixers. 25, 8 and 4, 24, 7 and 4, 21, 7 and 4, 22, 7 and 4, 21, 5 and 3. He was given buckets, and he only shot under 50% one time in the first 6 years that he was with the 76ers. And that's when he shot 49.4.
Coach, I'm looking at the stats right now. Yeah, Dr. J shooting under 50% his last 3 seasons in the 80s.
No, I said his first 6 years. I said first 6.
Oh, first 6. His first 6 years. That includes the 70s, though. We're not talking about the 70s. We're talking about the 80s.
Oh, I went down. I went up one more. I'm sorry. I went up one too many. So let's go with his first 5. Also, I would also say Dr. J is the first superstar the NBA had, like the first true superstar.
Namesake. I agree. I think that Dr. J, like whenever you talk to, so our generation is more Jordan-esque. When you go to that next generation up above us, everybody was Dr. J. Dr. J is my daddy and every one of my daddy friends and all my uncles and everybody. Like if I mention, and this is like not just like around the US, if I mention GOAT and you talking to an old schooler 60, 70 years old, Dr. J, they gonna have an argument of either him being the GOAT, an argument of why Jordan ain't better than him, an argument of what he did, because it wasn't just for the game of basketball, even though he was a baller. It was also for the culture.
Yeah,
Exactly.
He
There you
came
go.
and created something like culturally. They thought, oh well, we combining and we bringing these players in, and he not gonna be able to do this or do that. He came in and dominated in those times where they was like all odds was against him, being a baller, and then he done it with swag.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? The way he walked, the way he talked, the way he carried.
Yeah, bro.
coming to the game in a full link mink.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And he had the ladies tuning in, right? Let's not even what do I gotta say, pause or something. He had the ladies watching it, and that's a thing that people don't realize is economically, right? The NBA needed saving when Magic and Larry saved the NBA. Economically, when women start tuning in, for that charisma and things of that nature, I think you could even argue so as far as I'll give you another analogy, another metaphor with the acting, act like Hollywood, right? We have one of our biggest great Black actors right now, Michael B. Jordan. But would you have a Michael B. Jordan if you didn't have Denzel?
No.
Right? So Michael Jordan himself said, I wouldn't be here if I didn't see Dr. J.
Yeah, I mean,
if I didn't see that charisma, the way he carried himself, and then Kobe was almost a carbon copy of MJ. He wanted to even pump his fist out MJ. He wanted to, speak like MJ, walk like MJ. So yeah, we gotta give a lot of shout out to the Godfather. It was probably Dr.
Rest in peace, Kobe.
Yeah. I'm not denying Dr. J's impact. I mean, of course, he probably had the biggest impact out of all players in the 80s, arguably. What I'm just saying is just that I'm just talking about just as a player. I don't think he was better than Moses Malone as a player in the 80s. I just don't think he was.
And I agree. Everything y'all said about Dr. J. When it comes to the 80s, Moses Malone went to Dr. J's team and was the best player on the team.
Yeah.
So
that's all I'm saying.
He was hands down better.
And there's something that's not sexy about big man rebounder, blah blah. I feel like that. You see my comment is up on the screen too right now. There needs to be documentaries about Moses Malone. There needs to be more education about Moses Malone because he really isn't talked about enough.
Him and George Gurdon, they both need that.
Iceman, yeah.
The fucking Iceman.
Hey, Jeremy Rich, you want to give your top 10?
Yes, sir. All right. So my top 10, my bottom is a lot different than the rest of the list. I think my top kind of been consistent on what most people got. So my two honorable mentions, they just missed my top 10, and y'all might look at me crazy because of who I got at 10. But my honorable mention was Kevin McHale and James Worthy. Right? And then
I'm already upset.
the top 10, come on, bro.
And my team, y'all gonna let me crazy. My top 10, I got the man who scored the most points throughout the 80s. Made 8 All-Star games. Only missed 5 games throughout the whole 80s. That's Alex English. Scored more points than Jordan, scored more points than Dominique, scored more points than Kareem, scored more points than Bert, scored more points than anybody else in the 80s.
Respect.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Alex English at that number 10. Now, that's not saying if Kevin McHale didn't play with Bird, if James Worthy didn't play with Magic, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Because on my list, I tried to stay away from the accolades and winning because you had 3 teams dominating. You had Celtics, Sixers, Lakers dominating it. So it was crumbs left for other teams. As far as accolades, the 80s was political as hell with how they voted for stuff, man. So, I tried to look outside of that, you know what I'm saying? So at my number 9, I got Dr. J at number 9. And that's because at the tail end of the 80s, or at the tail end of his career, he did have a little drop off. You know what I'm saying? And kind of what CP was saying, the length of his dominance in the 80s just wasn't as long as some of the other cats were. At my number 8, Coach gonna hate me on this one. I know Coach gonna hate me on this one. My number 8, I got Kareem at number 8.
Oh my God!
Whoa, yeah. No.
Blasphemy.
With Kareem barely averaged 20 points throughout the 80s. Barely averaged 20 points throughout the 80s. Seven rebounds throughout the 80s. On one of the fastest paced teams, you got a lot of possession. At the very beginning of the 80s, that Kareem was that dude he was in the 70s. Once it hit about 83, 84, Kareem was not the Kareem that we think about. He just wasn't.
I mean, that was because of Magic, though. They started Magic more.
No, it's because he got old.
I mean, and Magic was that dude. He got the hand of keys in Magic. He was that dude.
And he got old. That's why he handed the keys over. I ain't driving the car when I'm 40. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it just wasn't what it was. As the 80s progressed, he got older. He dropped off. You know what I'm saying? And my number 7, I got Hakeem. And my number 7.
Oh, you got my dog high. I like that.
As soon as Hakeem touched the league, he was that dude. As soon as he touched the league, he was that dude. He took the Rockets to the finals in his second year when you had Ralph Sampson and somebody else. You know what I'm saying? And my number 6, I got a dude that's overlooked a lot on the scope of the NBA. Got left out the top 50 and all that. I got my dog Dominique at number 6.
Yeah.
Again, outside of probably Mike, I'd say he was probably the second best scorer throughout the 80s. You know, Alexander scored more because he was available more. But I think after Mike, he was probably the next best scorer throughout the 80s, without a doubt. If he'd have had some of the guys that Bird and Zeke and them had, the Hawks would have done some damage. You know what I'm saying? The Hawks would have done some damage.
Okay, so you what would you say about the criticism of Dominique's shooting? Because I agree, scorer, but I wouldn't say he's a great shooter.
He ain't got to shoot if he can't stop what he does.
I mean, it was 80s. You know what I'm saying? you had a couple dudes, you know, but the majority of them couldn't.
You know how we said like skill sets will overcome athletic problems. Like everyone was saying Kevin McHale's so great, blah blah. That's your skill sets. That's doing that. So that's one thing I thought that Bird and MJ had over Tom Wilkins.
Yeah,
like, knew that this dude they could hit you long distance, they could hit you from the free throw line. But I'll let you keep going though.
Hey, and y'all know I say the same thing always. It's more than one way to skin a cat. If you're gonna give me 28 points without disrupting the flow of the team and all this other stuff, that's still 28 points. I don't care if you got it doing 50 reverse pivots, jabs, pulling up your hat.
On people's heads.
You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, the result is really what matters. You got 28 points. They couldn't stop you from getting the 28 points. You got it easy. It is what it is.
Y'all eating fried cats and Appaloosas, bro? What you talking about skinning cats, dog?
So
we do eat. That's an analogy for catfish. We just shorten it down for cat.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Don't try to do us out here. Don't try to do it.
Don't get Kenny started talking about gumbo and booty.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, oh yeah.
And I'm gonna get Rip on. I'm gonna get Rip on the podcast. Come get all y'all.
No.
All right. So now at my number 5, I got Zeke at number 5. A lot of it, I know CA3 gonna film on this one, but a lot of it is because of the longevity throughout the 80s. You know what I mean? He played the majority of the 80s. He was good from the day he came in to the day he left. You know, the Bad Boys had the success at the back end of the 80s, largely because of him. I mean, he's probably one of the most consistent guards in NBA history. From the day he came in to the day he left, Zeke was Zeke. You know what I'm saying? At number 4, I got Moses. At number 4, I got Moses. To me, he's definitely higher than Dr. J when you're talking the 80s. And you're talking the scope of all their careers, probably Dr. J over him if you include the 70s and his ABA career. But in the 80s itself, Moses was the best big man, hands down, in conversation. He was that dude. 3, I got Mike at 3. We didn't have the conversation throughout this podcast. We talked about it. Look, 4 years that he really played in the 80s, won everything you could, won within them 4 years. They lucky he ain't played more than 4. You know what I'm saying? I probably had his name 10 times.
Dylon, and Dylon, baby. Let's go. Hot fire.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, Mike that dude, man. Mike that dude. Like, it is what it is, man. Like he came in and showed that you can have that elite scoring guard and still be successful, man. Like he changed the way that people look at how you have to build a team. I don't think the Bulls ever had a good big man. You know what I'm saying? You had Oak, who was, you know, good for his time. You had Horace Grant, who was good for his time, but outside of
Bill
them,
Winnington.
Luke Longley was a ball. Luke Longley was a ball.
No,
man, we need to
Longley
stop,
was 7-2. That's what he was.
Luke Longley. Hold on, let me get my cap.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God. Luke Longley. Some Longley bloods over there.
So my number 2, I got Larry Bird. I like the arguments y'all put up for him with the 3 MVPs. I mean, you know, everything he accomplished, you know, took the Celtics to the Eastern Conference Finals in his rookie year and all that. I think, you know, I got Bird too, so obviously I got Magic 1. I think Magic's dominance throughout the entire 80s is why I got him number 1 over Bird, and that's more so because Bird want to go shovel snow and all type of shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I got Magic 1 just because of his dominance throughout the whole 80s. How he completely, I mean, he changed the way people even wanted to watch basketball. You know what I'm saying? It was basketball had to be played this certain way. We got to work the ball around. We got to pass. We got fundamental here, fundamental that. Magic came in like, damn, all that. I'm flashy. I'm making no look, one hand. You know, you had Pistol that did it first, but them old dudes didn't like Pistol. You know what I'm saying? They hated Pistol. They was like, you know, it's flashy, it's amazing, but he'll never be a winner. And he really did never win. Magic came in and showed, hey, I'm gonna play like Pistol and I'm gonna win. You know what I'm saying? Even after he lost Kareem, I'm gonna still win. I mean, just everything he did for the Lakers, the culture of basketball throughout the 80s, and I mean, a lot of these other dudes did the same thing. But I think whenever I think 1980s, I automatically picture Magic Johnson. You know what I'm saying? And then I picture Bird with him. You know what I'm saying? But it's always Magic. I mean, even though whenever people pair them together, they say Magic and Bird. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Flow better saying it that way, but like I think Magic. You know what I'm saying? Even down to the hook shot he hit over the Celtics. That just I mean he just iconic when it comes to the 80s. You know,
just to add to that, Jerm, we'll go back even to college. Magic versus Bird. Magic got the best of them there.
Right, he got the best of them then. So I think that got a lot to do with it, the head-to-heads with each other. But I mean, you know, it's splitting hairs whenever you get to them too. But I think definitely, and I mean, he got the 5 chips. You know what I'm saying? They both had great teams. He came out with the 5 chips. So I mean, I got Magic on that, man. Like I said, when I think 1980s basketball, I automatically think Magic and everything. Exactly, like, he just embodied what the 80s was: fast-paced, up tempo, kind of flashy. You know, they start to increase the flash of the game, but still fundamental at the same time, though. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he'll flashy in the open court. He can do all that, but then he'll still back you down away from half court if need be. You know what I'm saying? Off
the court star power, like that big smile, the fact
I wish he would have maintained his off the court stardom. You know, what I'm saying?
Wasn't for the scandal. You know what I'm saying?
I did wow, but
yeah, you got something else other than that wow, boy. That was something else.
Oh yeah, you're right.
You know, Jaron, I can't even be mad at you for anybody that put Magic number 1. I was making somebody laugh the other day. I can't be mad if someone puts Magic number 1 as their GOAT. I mean, how many people you know play one-on-one with HIV and win?
You know what I mean?
He's crazy as hell, man.
Niggas in our Appaloosas got HIV. They be playing basketball, man. They just don't know they got it.
Hey man, don't do that.
Hey, shout out to Troll God for this post right here, man. Y'all, shout out to Troll.
Shout out to him.
Hey, I'm just saying, bro, that is an ideal basketball for the outdoor course. You know what I'm saying? That rough leather, you know what I'm saying? That's perfect for the dribbling on that cement. So that cement don't give like the hardwood, you know what I'm talking about?
You right.
Yeah, hardwood. That's a key word. Hardwood.
Hardwood. He probably bounce real good, man. I think he probably bounce real good. Oh, yeah.
Bingo, I just gotta get your top 10, Bingo.
Oh well, shit. I feel like everybody done pretty much covered. You know what I'm saying? Like who I got 10. I got Hakeem. 9. I got Worthy. 8. I got Mikal. 7. I got Kareem. 6. I got Wilt. No, I lied. 6. I got IT. 5. I got Dr. J. 4 is Moses. 3 is Jordan. 2 is Bird. 1 is Magic. I don't even have to. Everybody then relayed all the stats and all the, accolades and all the, and already had the arguments of who need to be where and why and what and all that. So I just ran through my list real quick and tossed that up.
Well, all right. Hey, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up, y'all. NBA Finals matchup tonight. I got the Bucks in 6. I don't think I said my prediction, but I got the Bucks in 6.
Yeah, we got somebody with some sense in here. Yeah.
Who you got CA on that?
I got the Bucks in 6. I got the Bucks in
6.
Mm-hmm.
And Weezy, I forgot who you said. You said the Suns?
I said Bucks in 7 because I think Giannis is gonna have to get it together, man, get healthy. But Bucks in 7.
Jeremy, you said Bucks in 6, huh? Did you say Bucks in 6?
Bucks in 6.
Who you said, Troll Guy? You said Suns in 6, huh?
Yeah, but I switched it to Suns in 7 because if we talking game 6 on the road, I don't think the finals is gonna be one on the road. This will be one at home. Just for the culture of the NBA being back first season after COVID. This one's got to be one at home. Suns in 7.
Hey,
other than that, all I want is a good series, man.
This been top 10. He said you got James Worthy, Robert Parrish, Dominique Wilkins, Jordan, Irving, Isaiah, Moses, Kareem, Magic, and Bird.
It's not a bad time.
A bad list.
No Mikal?
You need Mikal at 9, bro. But
you kind of got
gotta have Mikal somewhere in there.
Hey, man, look, any list with Jordan out that top 5 is crazy though.
He's not a top 5 player in the 80s, man.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Hey, but what about Mike Antonio? He might say, man, hey, look, we got to put Tobias top to buy. I don't care if he didn't play in the 80s. Tobias Harris is the best player.
Now he'll say,
hey,
Mike gonna be on the next podcast, man. Just to let y'all know.
Shout out Mike Antonio, man. Shout out Mike.
Oh yeah. Hey, I was rooting for him to be on some of that smooth gold milk today, man.
A Cambodian, right?
Cambodian, right?
Hey, Mingo, who is your pick for the finals?
Man, I ain't picking against CP3. My dogs and came for. I got the Suns in 7. I think the X factor though will be Ayton. I think that's really who, if they can get him to get his points efficiently, like how they've been doing, like he'll go 18, but he'll take 7 shots. You know what I'm saying? Like if they can keep his scoring efficiency high to give Booker the options to be on and off, like he's been on and off. You know what I'm saying? Some days he just he looks the sharp, and other times he miss. He be off. So I feel like if they can keep Ayton with his little points that he been getting taken, you know what I'm saying? 8, 9, 10 shots to give Booker and CP3 they volume that they need to score. I mean, they gonna be hard to beat, especially with CP3. You know what I'm saying? Being able to go in and go out, it's kind of hard to beat a coach on the floor.
Can I give you a I don't even know if this is a controversial statement.
Hey, hold on. Hey, CA3 Sports. Hey, that's our sports group on Facebook. Man, make sure you come join, man. We be wild.
Sports debaters, yeah.
It be crazy, bro.
And is Sean in Sports Debaters? Is Sean from U3 Sports? Is he in the group? Because I was looking for him. I couldn't find him. You know,
I don't know if Sean on Facebook.
Yeah, we need to add him in. We need to add him in there.
I know he said
Okay,
something
so
earlier.
when it comes to the Bucks, when it comes to the finals, right? If they were fully healthy, who would you take out of the big three? Ayton, Chris Paul, and Booker, or Drew Holiday, Giannis, and Middleton? I'm going with the Bucks fully healthy as a big
I ain't
three.
gonna lie, that's both some goddamn discounted value big threes, but it's all good.
Y'all might not know about that, but that's that's a surefire big three right there.
Oh yeah,
Coach, who is your official pick, Coach?
Well, according to my bookie, I got Suns in 7.
Hey, if y'all get a game 6 Chris Paul from last series, this whole series, Milwaukee is in trouble.
Yeah, and the Suns are beat. They're undefeated against the Bucks right during the regular season with Greek healthy, right?
I mean, but Drew Holiday didn't play in some of those games, man.
Okay.
Hey, I want to comment on something Milo said. You're saying if Aiden can get his on the Suns is going to be Suns or whatever. I actually think that's why I actually picked the Bucks. I don't think Aiden is going to be that efficient against the Bucks.
Yeah, that was exactly my thinking too.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for him. I mean, you got Greek down there, you got Portis down there, you got Lopez down there, which. The reason Porter started playing is because with Trae Young attacking off that pick and roll, Portis was better at defending that, which means Porter's going to still give him some minutes with Chris Paul coming on there, with Booker coming off them screens too. Is they got a lot of big dudes they can rotate down.
And then when they go to that Giannis at the 5 lineup, that's when it gets tough too.
Yeah. I just think that's the Bucks strength with the Suns. That's just the Bucks strength there. I think the Suns gonna have to hit some open shots. They gonna have to play the way they, with their guards, the way they've been doing the whole playoffs with Cam Payne or Cam Johnson kind of getting theirs unexpectedly. Like, I think everything has to go right for the Suns. You know what I'm saying? Like, they got to be hitting on all cylinders.
See, I look at it kind of opposite. I think Monty Williams is the better coach in this matchup.
Oh, facts on that.
I think that the key matchup is if Ayton can protect the paint without them having to build the wall against Giannis, I think that's actually going to be the key. I don't even think he has to score as much. I think if he can control the paint and handle the boards, I think that's what puts the Suns in position. If the Suns don't have to have 3 and 4 guys packing the paint to stop Giannis and Ayton can hold his own down there, I think that's what's going to give the Suns the edge.
Now, how confident are you in doing that?
See, it goes back to my thing. If Greek is not healthy, man, Ayton is in the best position he can be in.
Well, yeah.
If Greek is not healthy, I just got an update that said he's probable for game 1. So which means that they're not even fully sure themselves. He's probable for game 1. If the Suns can get this first, and I'm telling you right now, they're gonna be in a lot of trouble because they're gonna have to rush Greek back to get that edge. And then you see how that knee is gonna react to a intense finals game.
I mean, I just look at it like this.
I said earlier in the thing, if Giannis is not healthy by game 3, I got Suns in 6. If he's not healthy by game 3.
I look at it like this. I think the Bucks are more battle tested, and I think the Bucks, more than any other team the Suns have faced, they have people they can put on their best players. Like you got PJ Tucker you can stick on Booker sometimes. You got Drew Holiday you can stick on Cp3 to kind of give them some trouble. So they got players they can put on these guys, And this is probably the best set of bigs that Ayton has faced in the playoffs so far. So, it's
Does anybody think the Bucks could beat the Suns without Greek?
No.
Nah.
But if the Bucks are fully healthy,
I didn't be close. I didn't be close. I think it could be closer than people think, but I don't think they would beat them though.
Who thinks the Suns can beat the Bucks in 7 with Greek healthy the entire series?
Me?
I don't think so. No, I don't think. I just don't think.
I do.
I don't think the Suns. I mean, who are the Suns going to put on Greek? That's the problem.
Who said I do?
Huh?
Yeah.
Oh God, who said that?
I did. Yeah, did they not get the regular season with Greek healthy? Or they not
But
undefeated?
Drew Holiday wasn't there.
Yeah, Drew Holiday.
Drew Holiday wasn't there.
Yeah,
Well,
Drew,
look, y'all.
Drew's
Well,
a
look,
huge,
y'all.
Regardless of
factor.
who's there, who's not. Until you show me you can beat me, I'm the better.
I'm just saying, who are you gonna put on Giannis?
I mean, you give Giannis his points, and then you know what I'm saying. You do your best on defense for everybody else.
Because once
And
because
that
if you
depends
put
what Giannis you
put
getting.
Aiden on Giannis,
Am I getting the Giannis that's going to hit 34 or the Giannis that's going to be scared to drive to the paint because he don't want to shoot free throws, maybe give me 19 or 20? Which Giannis am I
you're
getting?
not scared to shoot free throws, man.
Giannis ain't scared of shit.
I mean, here's the thing. I mean, who are you gonna put on? If you put Aiden on Giannis, he's gonna get Aiden in foul trouble. And you have no size to back up
That's a
that.
whole lot of ifs. Game 1 starts in a few hours. Let's get it.
Okay, well, I will say this. Nobody wants to win more.
We will answer these and more questions tonight. I'm saying,
Yeah,
if
nobody wants to
they
win
weren't
more than
capable of
CP3.
beating the Bucks, why would they be in the finals? Y'all said they wasn't going to beat the Lakers. I was one of them that said they wasn't going to beat the Lakers. Got them out of here. Got the number one team out of here. And got the...
They're on a mission. They're on a mission.
Hey, bro,
To
and
sit
can
here
we stop?
and say that they have no possibility of beating the Bucks is blatantly stupid. Or let me not say stupid, ignorant.
I mean,
Them
you
boys
in the
are in the
finals.
finals for a reason.
You in the finals, everybody. I mean, you in the finals, you got a chance. You know what I'm saying?
And so the Bucks versus the Suns tonight, like Troll God said, game in a couple of hours. We made our picks. Saturday we're gonna be back. Well, I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna send y'all the invite if y'all want to come back, y'all. Everybody, anytime, y'all always welcome to come back. But we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Thank everybody in the panel for coming through. CA, make sure you join the Facebook group.
I just joined it. It's my Facebook profile is my Facebook profile is my real name. So it's
all right. I'm gonna go. Reason, you want to go ahead and accept them? Reason. Yeah, go ahead. Accept.
Hey, before we sign out, I gotta give out one shout out, July. I wanna shout out the number one player in the country in the class of 2038, Legend. Go get y'all some Legend gear. You know, shout out B Wilkie. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Brandon Wilkie.
Shout out Will, man.
Shout out, baby.
Will.
But everybody, y'all have a blessed one, fellas.
All right.
On the asterisk though, no asterisk, for all these injuries.
Nah, man. It's part of the game. It's part of the
We
game.
don't believe in asterisks around here. Only asterisk goes by the president, number 45. That's the only asterisk.
We're gonna end on that note. Y'all have a blessed one, fellas.